All right, so whenever you're dieting, if you're at too drastic of a calorie deficit, then basically your energy is just gonna deplete and deplete and deplete. If you're working hard, still working out, dude, you're just kind of running yourself down. So I've noticed, because in a cutting phase, typically gonna keep your protein and your fats relatively the same. And the only thing that's gonna move, whether you're bulking or you're cutting, is you're gonna have kind of a sliding scale on carbs. Well, for a smaller guy with a lower calorie intake, whenever you start sliding those carbs down, you're going from like maybe 150 grams of carbs to like 75 for the day. And so it starts to get into the point where you're actually really systemically fatigued. Your glycogen stores are all out. Your central nervous system, your brain, your muscular system all runs on glucose. The last 2 nights, I've noticed I've just tossed and turned the entire night, and I'm hungry. So you can start telling whenever you're really fatigued and like your glycogen stores are down, because you'll start losing motivation to go to the gym. You'll start losing motivation at all, like period, just doing regular stuff because you're out of energy. You're gonna have more mental fog. Your memory is gonna be a lot less functional. What else is there? You're not gonna be sleeping as good at night. Your body's kind of waking you up and telling you, dude, give me something to eat. So if you can have like a higher carb day every like 3rd or 4th day, or at least whenever you start to notice those symptoms are happening, like over like a 2-day period or something, boom, it's time to maybe replenish some of those glycogen stores, because you can keep going down and staying on the same exact diet you're on, but you're gonna keep going downhill with all those symptoms I just talked about. Or you can kind of replenish those, still remain in a calorie deficit, just have higher carb days, and then for a day or 2, feeling better, okay, now let's continue into the calorie deficit. So it allows you to diet for a more prolonged period of time, to where it's actually, your diet's way more sustainable. And I would rather have, like, this is already a hard process that we're doing. It's literally against our nature. Our body literally thinks we're dying whenever we're cutting back its food intake. But the thing is, so this is already hard. So why would I just make it any harder? I think if you're trying to lose a significant amount of weight within 60 to 90 days, I think you're really gonna have some taxing stuff put on your body calorically, and I also think you're gonna have to fight a really hard mental struggle, depending on how big that weight loss is. And you could also argue that you're getting into yo-yo dieting. You maintain your goal, and now like, okay, we can go back up, and it actually wasn't long enough to form a habit that is gonna maintain the type of diet that you're gonna need to maintain in order to stay ripped. I think that going with maybe a 120-day diet or longer with some higher carb days in there, and you're just kind of working with your body's natural rhythm, you're going with the flow instead of against it. I think that at that point, you're kind of getting in your body's natural rhythm, and it's already hard, so why would I make it even harder? If I can get with work with my body's natural rhythm, it's gonna be that much better. And so, but that being said, I also believe that you're building up the right habits you need in order to maintain it in the long run, because it's not so taxing on your system. And by the end of it, if you can actually go and weather through that storm, like on a shorter calorie diet, then you're gonna wanna reward yourself. And that's what I'm saying, yo-yo dieting, like it doesn't work. It didn't for me. So I just find it's better to go slow and sure while building the correct foundation and proper habits. So it actually becomes a part of me over those 120 plus days, rather than it's a habit that I started to form, but then the foundation isn't thick enough, and then you go and put a bunch of weight on it, the foundation just crumbles. So I'd rather have slow but steady, sure progress, rather than just short-term gains that really don't amount to much next year whenever I've already blown them.